And last, we're going to have Pastor Queen, Mother Amako. Okay? So, Deborah. Power to the people! Power to the people! I'm going to make it very quick. I was in Orlando when the verdict came down. People cheered. They cheered for the verdict. We have three things that we need to do. We need to keep marching, we need to keep mobilizing, and we need to send a message with our dollar. Show Florida that we have some economic power. The NAACP is calling on you to boycott Florida orange juice. Just that one little thing. Boycott Florida orange juice. Everybody can do it. Florida's natural. Florida's Tropicana. If you got it in your refrigerator, drink it, don't buy no more. Don't buy no more. We are in this for the long haul. We got to go to the courts, but we also got to show the power that is in our pocket.
No more Florida orange juice. In the spirit of Y'all come to us. In the spirit of Nzinga. In the spirit of Valley New Hamer. In the spirit of Sojourner Truth. In the spirit of Asala Shakur, who was liberated from this unjust system. I come to you calling upon our sisters to move forward and take our rightful place in society. I come to you on behalf of the Black Women, Million Women's Black Women Defense League. Talk about Marissa Alexander. There's many women standing behind bars today, standing their ground against an abusive relationship. I know because I've been there, I've seen them. Who's going to stand for the Black woman? Who's going to stand up for the Black woman? Rakia Boyd gunned down by a racist police. Where's the outrage? There are several women behind bars right here today in this unjust system. The Essex County Juvenile Detention Center, as well as the Green Monster. Women right now today. We got women here today in 212 Washington Street whose babies are being taken away from them as we speak. Who's going to stand for the Black woman? Who's going to really stand? So, if they don't stand for us, we must stand for ourselves. So I'm here today to seize the time to call upon every Black woman at the sound of my voice. Come together against all affiliations and let's stand as one against the injustices that our sisters face. Women are going to jail because they're reducing and degenerating to crime to protect and take care of their children. For lower level crime at a record number, women is the fastest growing population today going to prison, surpassing the Black man and the men. Who's going to stand today for the Black woman? So I call upon you, and I come before you on behalf of the Million Women's Movement, our 16-year anniversary is October the 25th. We go to the Justice Department in D.C. So if you want to get involved, you can contact the National MWM at AOL.com, National MWM at AOL.com, or you can Google us on Facebook. You will see us there. Who's going to stand? And we want our Black men to stand in support of us. Stand like you stand for anybody else. Stand for the Black woman. I thank you all. Those who are hosting this event, I give thanks to you. But someone must put the words on their mouth about the women and our children, our young sisters, taken away, being murdered, raped,
Queen Mother Imaku. Before I go any further, even though I'm speaking briefly, just to be out of the protocol, may I ask permission for our elders to speak? Well, thank you. I work with our youth. I work with our sisters. I work with our brothers. In Akeru Temple of the True Living Waters, which is a Kemetic ministry, we work with everyone for the sake of unification and for the sake of peace. I've been coming to rallies for years. I've been involved with the community for years. The biggest problem that I always see is that we leave these events and we go on our way. Yeah. We stay divided. Yeah. I should not have to fight as a Kemetic minister to get involved with everyone else in the community because we are one. Say we are one. We are one. It is going to take unification in order for us to overcome. We have the economic power. Just look at how you're dressed. How much money have you spent on the things that you have on? The new items that you have bought. The vacation you just came back from. We have the money. And this country knows we have the money. We are the economic. We are. Number one. If everything that our people touched left, this world would collapse as we know it. We need to be unified in the boycott. Not buying for convenience because we happen to be in the store and it has to be the only brand available. Unification in boycotting. Unification in finding out who your neighbor is. In reaching out to our youth. I've taught our youth in lockdown for a long time. I would say a good 3/4 of them don't need to be there. But there are not enough parents involved to do something about it. There are not enough elders involved to do something about it. Become aware. Do something about it. Stand up so that we may move forward. The movement is still here. Make sure that you make your presence known when we go to D.C. in August. I ask again for unification. This symbol that I'm wearing here, the Ankh, it means life, but it also means unification between men and women, parents and children, elders and children. One, let us work as one. Hosep.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vivian Fraser, President and CEO of the Urban League of Essex County. I want to thank you all for being here. I'm thankful for being here. And what I want to talk to you a little bit about, as some of the speakers have mentioned, is that this is an economic issue as well. So the Urban League was founded during a time that families were migrating from the south to the north, looking for economic opportunity. It was an economic movement. And right now we need to use our economic power. Now what's different when somebody says we don't have power, economic power, because we spend our money all over the place. Power is when you use it together. And so I want to join with my fellow sister from the NAACP, asking you if you're planning to go to Disney World, go to Disneyland. Don't go to Disney World. Keep our money out of the pockets of the places that are not safe for our children. Exactly. And I want to join with the mothers, because I'm a mother, and I'm with Michelle Obama. I am mom-in-chief. And the children in our community are raised by women. 70% of our children are raised by single mothers. And we need help. And I want you to know that I stand with Sabrina Fulton, the mother of Trayvon Martin. I'm asking every mother to stand with the mothers in your community. Don't let them go alone. And by all means, show up for the March in Washington. So I'm here on behalf of the National Urban League, the NAACP, and all of the civil rights movement organizations across this country. They have joined together, and they are asking and calling on us around this country to come in mass to Washington. They want 3 times the people. So however many buses we had in numbers coming from Newark, we need triple the buses. And so what I want you to know, the Urban League is organizing buses. All right. If you don't know how to get to D.C., we'll help you. So I'm asking you to come on August, on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, all those days, and come to Washington and show everyone across this nation that we are unified in the protection of our children, in the protection of our community, and the protection of our families. And so I'm also going to ask you one thing. you. God bless you. And have your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we adjourn, let's give our brother Pastor Bartley a big hand for being the gracious and sincere leader. I'm going to tell you something, this demonstration could have been a lot different from what it was. But he opened it up so that all people, and for as many as possible in the time that we had, could be represented. I want to call on two people before we close. One, we have not had a speaker from the Muslim community here today. And I know that there are a lot of Muslims out here. So I know he's not prepared for me, but he's the only Muslim I know on my left-hand side right now. I'm going to call for Shamsuddin, Imam Shamsuddin.
Thank you, my dear friend, Reverend Bartley. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. Key words. Racism is deep in America. And this is really what we are dealing with. And although we've seen some change in terms of imagery, we have the president who is an African American. But how many of you remember the lady, the governor in Arizona, who went to the president and pointed her finger like he wasn't the president? And then you had those, when he was given the State of the Union, said, "You are a liar." See, racism is deep in America. And racism is a psychological and spiritual illness that white folks have been infected by. And we have to realize that. We have to realize that we're dealing with something that is very, very deep. And that's why it's so important that all of us out here supporting this effort, working to see what we can do to make a difference, to make an impact. And I respect what our brother Stevie Wonder has done. Our brother was always on the front line. Now what we need now is we need our young brothers with power and influence to follow the great Stevie Wonder in that cause. So we're dealing with a real serious issue of racism that we have to continue to address, to be aware that these young brothers, their lives are almost worth nothing. Their lives are worth nothing because white folks, many of them, have no respect for the sacredness of life. And that becomes a challenge. The challenge is how do we work to change the thinking of those who are working to slaughter our young brothers, not just physically, but slaughter them psychologically, slaughter them emotionally, slaughter them physically, where they're trapped off doing 30 and 40 years in jail. So I want to applaud all of you for being here today. Pass this word. We go to D.C. We stand up for Trayvon Martin like those who came before us stood up for us. Those were the pioneers who made the sacrifice so that you and I can work to have a better life. Peace be unto you. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. And lastly, Reverend Bartley, if I could impose on you one more time. Brothers and sisters, I'm not one often given to metaphysics, but I can't help but feel that the hand of providence is in this today. You know, earlier this year we had the pleasure of bringing the woman who was arrested before Rosa Parks, Claudette Colvin. You remember that? We brought her. She's still alive. But standing next to me right now is somebody who is directly relevant to this struggle that's going on today. How many people remember when in 1998 the state troopers fired upon 4 college basketball players? How many remember how they were shot up? How many remember that they went to court? And how many remember that as a result of their court victory that New Jersey had to officially recognize its racial profiling practices? Well, standing next to me right now is Danny Reyes, who was one of the New Jersey four that was shot 6 times. He was shot 6 times by the state troopers in that car, and he's come out today to join us to demand justice for Trayvon Martin.